Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Be in the Driver's Seat. If you're watching right now, we want to make sure that you go to that follow button and follow us. And if you listen on YouTube, we just want to make sure you subscribe. Why do you want to subscribe? Because we have news you can use every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Do you like I did that commercial?
I like
That was like
that.
free too.
Yeah.
Can you give me
Yeah.
half on that?
Yeah, I'll give you half on it. I got half on. I got five on
Can you
it.
give me half on that? I need more than
Yeah.
$5.
So I'm excited. Happy Saturday, everybody. Yeah, it's
No,
been a good
wait a
good
minute, wait a
week.
minute. Happy Saturday.
Yeah.
I thought it was Sunday.
Today's
It
Saturday.
seemed like it's Sunday.
That's because we had Christmas during the middle of the week.
Christmas Eve on Tuesday, Christmas on Wednesday,
Yeah.
and then back in the saddle on Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
How was your Christmas?
My Christmas great. Every day is good to me. It's because I wake up.
Come
I
on.
thank God every morning
Thank you,
that I,
Lord.
that I got breath in my body.
Come
That I
on, Lord.
can get out the bed and say thank you, Lord. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a blessing. I mean, sometimes we take things for granted, but in all things, I've learned to give thanks. So, yeah.
so what are you
Yeah.
guys thankful for today, though? What I know I'm thankful for. I don't know. I'm thankful for my extended family. Thankful for my family in Florida, my immediate
Mhm.
family, and my other families in other states. My family, but also I'm thankful for my extended family.
Me too.
Yeah.
I really, when I think about extended family, especially my church family,
Hmm.
of course, I'm thankful for my natural family, my blood family, but my church family, man, we had a Christmas party. It was amazing. We
What
laughed.
was so amazing about the Christmas
We,
party?
so the Christmas party was made, first of all, when I started going to my church, there were only two children in the church,
Mm.
and they weren't very small children. They was, they were just maybe 7 and 8. And now we have a church full of kids, and they were able to put on a Christmas program. So
Mm.
Sister Brandy and her husband, they worked with the children, and they put on a whole Christmas program, and it was phenomenal to watch those children grow up before my eyes. And it was just so good. And we played games, we had food, it was a lot of fellowship. It was just fun. It was a real good, wholesome time.
So you guys have your annual Christmas party at your church.
Yes, yes. And it was really good. It was good. We had sing off competitions. It was my pastor even got involved. So yeah, it was good.
Well, my Christmas is good. I usually have an annual Christmas Eve party with the
Hmm.
Andersons,
Oh
and
yeah. Shout out
so
to the
yeah, shout
Andersons.
out to them. So they have a bunch of friends that she considers family, and because the relationship over the years, some of the friends we end up being family.
Mm-hmm.
But I did that this year. I didn't do it last year. I spent some time with my brother last year, but I did that, and we eat, play games,
Mm-hmm.
and then dance a little bit, and I take naps in between time.
I saw
And
that.
what do you mean you saw it? They
I
took a
saw,
picture.
I saw naps.
They took a they
I
took a
saw
picture.
naps. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I
I'm gonna have
saw
to.
naps.
So somebody took a picture.
I saw
It's
naps.
funny on Facebook when you actually it used to be if you took pictures, it would tag you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Tag you and like,
Yeah.
okay, you in a picture.
Yeah.
But this time, I didn't. A lot of times now I don't see when somebody posts pictures of me. I'm not tagged, or I don't pay attention
Yeah.
because now when I get on Facebook, I post my pictures and then I'm on to the next.
Yeah. Because
I
you're
don't.
busy.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of strolling.
Yeah, but yeah, naps are important.
You know what? I'm gonna do a sec. As soon as we get off the live today, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make sure I get to my phone and look. I'm
Yeah,
probably
but
make
it
a
was
little
good.
comment.
Those candid moments really matter. They really do. Sometimes we're so
Boy, you're trying to clean it up. You're doing a
no,
good
no,
job.
no. No,
You're doing a good
honestly,
job.
sometimes we're so fixated on how we look or wanting to make things perfect. And the reality of it is sometimes we just need to be. It's okay to just be.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
okay to be.
Okay.
It's okay to take a nap.
Okay.
It's okay
So,
not to be perfect all
so,
the
so,
time.
well, no, nobody's trying to be perfect. So, what I'm gonna just make sure I'm gonna start catch you in some candid moments.
You
You're
get
not
me
even
all the
gonna know.
time. I got
Okay.
plenty of pictures.
Okay. No, I'm gonna catch you in a candid moment. I'm just gonna
Okay,
snap.
good. That's
Okay.
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 I embrace that in
Okay. I
2025.
want you to embrace it.
In 2025, and that just gets right into our word
Okay.
of the week. Word of the day, word of the week, it's preparation. And so this word came about early this morning as I began to reflect on 2024. So just looking back on some of the things that went well, whether it was in my personal life, my business life, my relationship with the Lord, I just really thought about what are some of the things that really went well, and how can 2025 be even better. So I start to evaluate some things, identify some of the lessons that I learned. And I learned quite a few lessons in 2024. And one of the lessons, and it may seem cliche and it may seem like, oh, you should have known that. But one of the lessons that I really learned was value your time and how you spend it. Value your time and how you spend it.
Hmm.
Time is the only thing that you cannot get back. So it matters how you spend your time. So let's just talk about that.
So basically, you're saying that it's values. So basically, when you come to do something, you need to start at that time, end it at that time. Is that basically
No,
what
I
you're
mean
saying?
just your personal time
Hmm.
period when you spending time with people. Make sure that you're spending your time wisely. Whether it's spending time with people, spending time studying,
Hmm.
spending time out in the community,
Hmm.
whatever you're doing, make sure that you're spending your time wisely because you can't get that time back.
You can get
And
the next day back, but you can't get that
well,
actual
hopefully
day
you'll
back
get the next day.
if you wake up, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so when I thought about time, I've even thought about a lot of people that we lost even in 2024,
Hmm.
and it has yet to even be 2025. And there are some people who will not cross over to 2025.
Hmm.
So when I think about you, I think about you saying giving people their flowers
Hmm.
now.
Hmm.
And so that's important to me, spending time with people,
Hmm.
spending time doing the things that I enjoy
Hmm.
doing.
Things you love.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And Sierra, and just to shout out Sierra real quick, she put a post up and she said that she was going to be real intentional on how she spent her time, making sure that she's spending time with family and friends and making memories instead of being so fixated on work.
Hmm.
And we're all guilty of that. The,
Yeah,
the
because
people in my circle I know are
well,
guilty
yeah,
of that.
because we're always thinking about that next dollar. We're thinking about how we got to complete something that we started or going back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and thinking about the next day. We
yeah.
we we here today. Even if you could be honest, you already thinking about what got to be done tomorrow.
Yeah, but today, right now, I'm thinking about what I got to do today. Today
Exactly.
as a full day.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
today is a full
Yeah.
day. You haven't even gotten to where you're going, but you already mapped out the
Hmm.
plan.
So when I look at preparation, I think about preparing my meals because I want to say
Mhm.
the last 20, well, 20 plus years been in the car business,
Mhm.
you eat on the go because you're
Mhm.
busy.
Yeah.
You don't think, I did not think about, okay, what I'm eating for lunch. I didn't think about what I'm eating for dinner because I
Mhm.
was always busy
Mhm.
and not preparing. When you have kids, you have a family, you prepare. The only time I really got into preparing a meal or preparing something when I had my stepmother and my mom, right?
Mhm.
But it was preparing things for them or
Mhm.
making sure that the caregivers that took care of them prepared their meals and had them set, right?
Mhm.
So now the last 3 years, I've been on a weight journey of trying to eat right,
Mhm.
get eating right, looking different physically on the inside and outside too, preparing things, right?
Mhm.
And I think about, I want to say last couple months. I think I had this conversation with you this past week.
Mhm.
It's like I have not been eating the way had been preparing my meals and just putting things in place the last couple of years.
Mhm.
The last couple months,
Mhm.
I have not been doing that, right? Not even the water.
Mhm.
So one of my goals is to actually, you said preparation is to make sure I prepare those meals. It's like if I'm going on a girls' night out tonight, and it's like I said I'm gonna have to stop and get my own food. And the reason
Mhm.
I do that is because I want, what I used to do is I would always say, "What are you preparing? What are we having?" And then sometimes people get mad because I ask, but I'm asking for a reason. It's
Mhm.
because I want to make sure something that I can eat and something that I'm gonna be not feeling like not feeling bad about later.
Mhm.
Because sometimes when you eat, you feel bad about what you eat.
Or it changes how you feel,
Yeah.
make you sluggish and
Yes.
things like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
So I understand that, and and when we were talking about preparation, even so I know you're preparing meals. I was thinking about in terms of like personal goals.
Hmm.
Well, so that's a
But
personal
that's a
goal for
personal
you,
goal. Yeah.
right?
Most
That's a
definitely.
personal goal for you. And so some personal goals for me as I prepare is I want to you know increase my finances,
Hmm.
right? But I also want to have some spending targets.
Hmm.
And when I think about increasing finances, not just, just to have money sitting in the bank,
Hmm.
but I mean to leave legacy. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
To really
Hmm.
think about what are you spending your money on
Hmm.
and why are you spending on it? Because we're consumers, right?
Hmm.
So a lot of us just buy because we
Hmm.
can buy.
Hmm.
because we have the ability to buy. And so I want to just really look at my spending. And debt free is something that I've aimed to be for so long in
So,
every area.
so one of the things that I actually did in May, it
Hmm.
changed my whole life, far as spending and what I drive, is when I got the electric car.
Yeah, that was
And
huge though.
that was huge. And every time I see a Tahoe, I cry
Yeah.
inside. And sometimes on outside, I'm like, oh my God, I missed the room. I missed the look. But I made a decision in 2024 that I had some things, that some goals that I had put in place.
Yeah.
In order for me to get to those goals, I needed to
Hmm.
decrease some things I'm doing, change my
Hmm.
lifestyle, change the way I do things.
Yeah.
And when I went to all electric, because I had a Vault before, which was a hybrid, which was electric and gas,
Mhm.
but to totally go electric
Yeah.
means that I'm $300 less in $300 less in payment, and then I pay I was paying $75 to $80 a week in gas on that
Easy.
Tahoe, easy,
Easy.
and now when I ride past the gas pump, I'm like, hi, and sometimes I throw my
Y'all
hand
see how
up.
she throw that
Look, I
shade
throw my
in like
hand up like,
that?
hi.
Like you just
And
really throwing shade right now for those of us, especially if you driving a car and you got to have premium gas. Yeah. Okay.
and,
Yeah.
and the reason I say hi is because, I'm saving,
Yeah. You are.
but also reason why I went electric pushed me there too was that I can charge at work.
That's good.
I can charge at work,
Awesome.
but knock on wood, hopefully next Saturday I will have my own charger at home.
Yeah, that's good.
But before, when had a hybrid, I had a second car.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the goals too is that if I get another electric car, I'm gonna have a second car,
Mm-hmm.
because if something happens, I'm gonna be like, I don't want to use the A word, but it's gonna be out the window. But gonna be out the window if something happened to my car. If something happened to my car and it doesn't start, or something happens with
That's
it,
real. That's true.
So that's the scare.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that the world is not ready for the whole electric car, and I do know that. And the reason I'm ready is because of where I work.
That's good.
So, but just say good morning to Allison.
Hey, good morning,
Good
Allison.
morning, Allison.
Yeah, good to see you this morning.
Thank you for joining us, Allison. If you have not followed us on our Facebook page, want to make sure you give us a follow, please, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, good morning, good morning. And also, some of the goals that I want to do. So I looked up the SMART goals because I always looked at the word SMART in terms of goals.
Cause you smart.
So yeah, thank you so much. And
I
so
left
in
my
terms
water in
of,
my bag.
you can't get
It's
into a
kinda dry.
break. You're gonna have to wait. All
Okay,
right.
come
So I was thinking about some goals. So of course we talked about financial goals and personal goals, but even my spiritual goals, family goals. There's some things that I want to increase in 2025. But one of the things I wanted to talk to you all about is the SMART goals. So make sure whatever you do in 2025 that you're specific with it. When you're setting the goals that you're specific, make sure you define clearly what you want to achieve. Make sure that it is measurable. How will you measure the process and the progress? Make sure it's achievable. Set realistic, achievable goals. Make sure it's relevant. Align them with your values and priorities. And make sure that they're time bound. Set deadlines and stay motivated. Prioritize and set boundaries. So these are some things that I'm doing in 2025.
So I wanna hit on what you said for 1 second here. Is that
Mm-hmm.
be careful on, not with you, I'm just talking about period. Be careful when when you set your time frame,
Mm-hmm.
because I notice when I set time, just me personally, right? If I don't achieve this certain goal in that time frame, I
Mm-hmm.
beat up on myself. And then we talk about not celebrating. I don't celebrate the small wins, right?
Make sure you
And you
celebrate.
got to make sure that you celebrate the small
Yeah.
wins, because you have your goal, right? But celebrate those small things that you do. Um, because don't get beat up if you don't get that goal. If you set a 6 month goal or 8 month goal or whatever you set, but know that celebrate those small wins, because it's important to reward yourself no matter what you do.
That's good. A win is a win. A win is a win. But
Hmm.
also don't beat up on yourself for the losses because some losses are a win as well.
True, true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So we gotta take a break. We're
Well,
gonna
we
be back.
we have a comment here.
Oh, okay.
It was
Who
it was
coming?
from
Good morning.
Gil. Gil
Oh,
Garrett.
hello, brother.
What's up?
My wife has us all prepped and ready for one. Okay? Listen, come on, Miss Garrett.
Good
Yes.
morning. Good morning.
Good morning,
Yes, thank
brother.
you.
Good to see you on
Yeah,
this
good to see you.
morning. Happy Saturday.
So we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back with Brad Golder, senior sales guy at Evertree Insurance, and we're gonna be talking about 5 ways to pay less for your automobile insurance. You guys know, live in Michigan, or if you're not in Michigan, we got some great news that we can share. News you can use. We'll be right back.
Master Baker Sierra Crudup, owner of Delicious Sweets Bake Shop and Craven Cookies, located at 203 South Washington Street in Saginaw, Michigan, inside of the SVRC Marketplace. If you're looking for delicious sweets, this is the place to stop in. They specialize in homemade desserts and one-of-a-kind custom cakes. They can be reached at 248-836-8080 or dsibakeshop.com.
Are you paying high interest rates on car loans? Are you repeatedly getting denied when applying for credit cards? Or perhaps you'd like to buy a home and you're not sure you'd qualify. Did you know that turning your credit around can be done in less time than you think? Better credit doesn't just happen. You've got to make it happen. And I am here to help you do just that. I've helped hundreds of people better their credit and their overall financial situation by applying a simple set of steps that anyone can follow. Contact me today. I am your financial life coach, Kathy Washington, 1-800-988-9184. That number again is 1-800-988-9184. Contact me today for your free consultation and let us help you get your financial house in order.
Hi, I'm Joel Lunghammer at Joel Lunghammer Chevrolet in Waterford. And if you're looking for a newer used car and you have up to $500, then Regina, what would you do for me today?
I'm going to take your $500 and turn it to $1,000 on any new or used vehicle on our lot.
And this is only good till the end of the month. So if you're looking for a newer used car and you have $500, we'll turn it into $1,000.
And come and say, give me the queen, or go to thequeendeals.com.
We're back, and we're with one of my favorite guys, Brad Golder with Evertree Insurance. Good morning, Brad.
You're one of my favorite girls, Regina. Thank you.
Good
That's right.
morning, brother.
That's right. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. So I just want to give you a little backstory on me and Brad.
Well, can I speak to Brad and he
Oh
speak
yeah,
back first?
my bad.
Good
My bad.
morning.
Good morning.
Nice to meet you, Brad.
Nice to meet you too.
This is my counterpart. We're both business partners. My homegirl, my big sis, Dr. T. I sit on the couch with her about 7 days a week at her house. And she counsels me on the things that I go through every day. Okay, I'm kidding. But I do sit on her couch at least 3 days a week.
At
But
least.
not but not at her house. We have conversations that help keep me sane. But yeah, so
You're sane, Regina?
no, I'm not. It's
All right.
Brad just called me out.
Come on,
But
Brad. Put some points, okay?
Brad getting a three. No, that was a 3-pointer.
Yeah, from downtown.
For the alley-oop.
Right. So just give you a little back history on me and Brad. Met Brad, I want to say, in, was it 2014 or 15?
Yeah, right around then.
So Brad came to the dealership. He had just got into the business, and I had other individuals that I was dealing with insurance. He came and he was talking, and actually I wanted to blow Brad out the door because the reason I wanted to do that is because Brad was so patient and I was busy, and Brad was like, when you're new doing something, right? And I said, well, just hold on, I'll be right with you. But Brad was like very calm, and it wasn't a good time. And I told Brad, I said, just hold on 1 second. and he waited. And so I didn't blow him out the door. And the reason I say blow him out the door was because sometimes when we're looking for new relationships, we go into different dealerships, so we talk, we cold call, right? And he did a walk-in, and his walk-in has manufactured, help me out with that word,
Manifested.
manifested into our relationship today. He is my go-to guy when it comes to insurance, my personal insurance, and my customers' insurance, and that's our back history.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
It was a long story, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't
He
a
was like,
long
"Get to the
story.
point.
I
I saw
like
you.
backstories. You know, I like.
I saw you." He was like, "Regina, where you going with this? Get to the point."
Listen, I'm excited to hear about what Brad is talking about today.
So you about to get all into it? I was still,
Yeah.
I'm working on my backstory,
Oh, okay. I want to get into it.
but I want to get started my backstory.
Okay, keep going.
So just let's go ahead and get into it. But let me just, I do want to say this is that, well, you know how you have a concierge, someone that you can call when
do.
you need something. When you go to a hotel, you have a concierge, right? Or if you go stay at a big resort, you have a concierge. Or anything so Brad is my concierge. Not only if I have a question about my insurance, when I shop my insurance, I have a question about my deductible, anything I need when it comes to insurance, I call him. He's like at my beck and call to a certain extent. Now I tell him, I said, when I call you now, if you're busy, can you just text me back and tell me you're not working? Because he's my concierge, I shouldn't figure that he's at my beck and call, but I like that is because he does get back to me, right? But he represents me. And it's always good that when anything you do is have somebody that represents you. But go ahead and get started, Dr. T.
No, I'm listening.
Okay.
I'm taking
All
notes.
right. So today we're going to go ahead and get into it. We're talking about 5 ways to pay less for your automobile insurance in Michigan. And I know one of those ways is to lower your personal injury protection coverage, but I know that people don't understand what is personal injury protection. Can you explain that to us this morning?
Sure. It's something that's unique to Michigan. So people that move into Michigan, I think, are even more confused because it's not something that other states have. But basically, your auto insurance has a built-in health insurance in it. So if you are injured in an auto accident, it only pertains to your health related to auto accidents. But if you're injured in an auto accident, your auto insurance in Michigan is going to cover your medical expenses beyond what your own health insurance covers. And as a result, some of the health insurance companies in Michigan that are on the cheaper side, not that health insurance is cheap at all, but the cheaper types of health insurance will sometimes exclude injuries that you suffer in an auto accident completely. So you may actually not have any coverage you may have a health insurance that you pay to. You may not actually have any coverage if you're injured in an auto accident. And that's where your auto insurance will take over for the personal injury protection. So personal injury protection is you as the driver and anybody that is in your car that lives in your house and is related to you. It is protection for you and those people. So, back in the mid 2015, 2016, and before, in Michigan, you were required to carry unlimited amount of personal injury protection. And as the rates started getting higher and higher and higher with this unlimited amount, it was during the Whitmer administration, so it is within the last 8 years. They did have the reforms where you can choose less personal injury protection. So there's you can have the unlimited, which is the best protection. It's going to cost you the most. You can choose less, 500,000 or 250,000. And then there's some ways, depending on your health insurance, where you can choose either 50,000. That's if you have Medicaid, or you can choose 0 for personal injury protection. That is if you have Medicare. So that's going to be mostly 65 and over, and some people that are on disability. And then if you have a good health insurance plan that covers auto accidents, you can get a letter from that health insurance company, and then you can have 0 personal injury protection. So I just threw a ton of information out there, and it's complicated. Um, if you didn't understand it, that's okay because so few do. Talk to your auto insurance agent. If it's me, talk to me. If it's somebody else, talk to them about what your health situation is and then what sort of um, lesser coverage you can qualify for in personal injury protection if you are paying too much for your auto insurance.
So I have a question, Brad.
Sure.
So you have, you encouraged us to submit a qualified letter, a health letter to get the possibly get the insurance lower. How willing are employers to giving letters so that they can submit, so you can submit these things?
Yeah, they'll do it. They might roll their eyes a little bit about having to do it because I think a lot of employers probably get slammed on this because there's so many that ask for these letters. Um, I've had people, especially with Blue Cross, be able to do it on their app,
Mm-hmm.
so that could help alleviate having to get somebody else involved. If you've got the app, you might be able to get the qualified health letter on your app. Some people call their health insurance directly with that 800 number. Some people call their company HR and they're able to print the qualified health letter. I've had some people say that, it's an 8-day wait or, all these different things. Um, but it's something that, you're paying into your health insurance. It's something you're entitled to. And you should be able to get that with relative ease.
Well, if you, the word of the day was preparation, right? And if you know that you are getting insurance on a car and you're looking for a car, we're talking about preparing. And if you ask your employee for that letter early, then that's about preparing, right?
Yeah.
And then also, I want to say this is how much will a person save if they get a qualified health letter? Because I know when you come in to get a car from me, I have no patience waiting on a qualified health letter because sometimes depends on the employer. They take 3 days, 4 days, 5 days.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. If you're gonna buy an auto insurance policy, have it ready. Do the prep work ahead of time. Make that phone call. And call during the easiest hours to get through. If you're calling the health insurance company, call first thing in the morning. Don't call during the middle of the day or um, you
Mhm.
know 30 minutes before they close. If you're working with HR, give them a week of heads up. Send them an email, give them a week heads up to get that qualified health letter. But definitely have that in hand, have that ready to go to email your agent that says, I don't have to pay for the PIP coverage. I've seen it save people as much as 50%. I mean, it's the PIP is a big part of the auto insurance
Mm-hmm.
contract, and it depends on a lot of different factors. But if you're rated where you're going to have a high PIP, it can save you a lot. Um, Remember, your letter needs to show everybody in the household. So if you've got you know you got husband and three kids that are all on the auto insurance or all on the health insurance and they all live with you, they need to be on that qualified health letter.
No,
Uh,
no,
it
Brad.
really gets confusing when different people in the household have different insurances. The state of Michigan has not made that easy. Um, Especially somebody in the household who should get the benefit of Medicare. Like if you have another generation in the household, that can be really difficult to exclude somebody who has Medicare, and you're excluding your family because of your employer health. That can be really confusing and difficult to do.
I was going to ask a question because you talked about everybody in the household has to be listed. Does that affect the quote as well? Depending on, like I heard you say the ages of the individual, so I know that matters. But does it matter, as many people as you put on, does that kind of change the rate?
Yeah. So what's odd is that like if you've got little kids in your house that clearly aren't driving, they are going to be passengers in your car, and they are entitled to that PIP benefit. So when you honestly state how many people are in your household, um, the rate is higher even if you've got a kid and somebody that's not driving that you list. It's not a huge increase to add a non-driver household member, but it does reflect in the price that somebody who is single lives by themselves, and the auto insurance company is only going to be responsible for one person on the PIP versus somebody that's got a spouse and five kids. That's a lot of people that could potentially get injured in an auto accident, and the auto insurance would have to pay for it. So it is more expensive to list minor kids.
So when I did my homework this morning in Michigan, well, it listed other states like uninsured motorist rates by state, and Michigan is the second largest compared to the four that I chose. Michigan is 19.6% that has uninsured motorists in the state of Michigan, and Minnesota is 8.7, and Mississippi, not sure why theirs is higher than ours, but it's 22.2, and Missouri is 16.0. So you think about all the people out there that are uninsured. And this was the reason for one, and then Teresa, Dr. T, and I want doing the show today, getting tongue tied. Doing the show today was because the importance of having insurance and knowing what's covered and how do you save on insurance. Because 5 ways to save. One of them is to have your qualified health letter,
Yeah.
right?
And we have a question on the from one of our viewers. What if your health insurance doesn't cover you in a car accident? How can you save then?
Sure. So regardless of what kind of health insurance you have, even if you have no health insurance, you can choose a lesser amount than the unlimited. So the way you would save, Allison, would be to do the 250,000 in personal injury protection as opposed to the unlimited. So you can do the 250,000. Anybody can do that without any sort of proof of health insurance. So that'd be the best way to do it.
Okay. So that's open to any person.
That's open to anyone. It's when you start getting to the excluding from health insurance that you have to prove what kind of health insurance you have.
Now you're also licensed in other states, right? So we do have, I know Dr. TS, and I also not have my family in Florida, but we have other states that actually are listening or may go back and watch. What other states do you actually you can offer assistance in insurance?
So through our office, we are licensed in every state. Right now, we don't necessarily have a carrier in some states. I would tell you that we are, our company is office is based in Bingham Farms, Michigan. So we are, I would say, outstanding in Michigan. So I operate the office in Georgia now, and we have gotten some really good companies that we're partnering with in Georgia. Some of the states around Michigan, we can do a really good job with. Ohio and Illinois, particularly Indiana. And then when we merged with Evertree, we added offices in Virginia, Colorado, Illinois. So we have some really good options in some states. You talked to me about Arizona the other day. We do not have a good carrier to work with in Arizona at this time. And if anybody asks, Florida is just a no-go for us. It's just Florida is the Looney Tunes world of insurance right now, especially with property, but also with auto. So I've tried it, and there's just I have no idea what's going on in Florida, and I stopped trying. So I let somebody who's an expert in Florida deal with that.
I just wanted to say something real quick. You said Bingham Farms. Is that, I know that's here in Michigan. That's near Southfield, the Southfield area.
Yeah, north of Southfield, south of Bloomfield. We're on Telegraph between 12 and 13 Mile.
I just wanted to make that clear because we have a lot of viewers and listeners that's in the area. And so
Yeah.
I wanted them to know that that's still near them.
Yeah, Bingham Farm. It's like a little tiny map dot. It's like maybe a block or 2 blocks wide. But yeah, we're right above Southfield and right below Bloomfield on Telegraph.
So I want people to know exactly what Brad's in Georgia, but he can help you in other states. So if you're in Michigan, you give him a call. But um, I want you to explain because you work for an independent agent,
Mhm.
and I know like State Farm. What was that called? A captive agent,
Yeah.
right? And because you just recently added to your uh, Rolodex was Cure Insurance,
Mhm.
and I'm happy for that because a lot of people are looking to get the less expensive insurance, even though Cure is like it's on the bottom list with me. I'm just saying because some things I've heard horror stories about it. But can you talk a little bit about what is a independent agent and what's the difference between independent agent and a captive agent?
Sure. So I can shop for any company. I am a captive agent is like going to delta.com to get flights. You only get
E spot.
Delta flights.
Oh,
Yeah, so you go to State Farm, you go to Allstate, or you go to Farm Bureau. That's all they can sell. They can sell that product. But as an independent agent, we can shop the market for an unlimited number of companies that we work with. So we're like shopping for flights with Expedia, where you can get all the different flights. Our top companies right now in Michigan that we work with the most are Progressive, AAA, Safeco, um, and as you mentioned, we added Cure Insurance. We've got Bristol West. We have some specialty Michigan companies that are really good, especially for people with good credit and who have existing insurance, like Frankenmuth, Westfield. Wolverine Insurance is just in Michigan. Hastings is only in Michigan. So we have some really good options there too. But as an independent agent, I can find what the best rates are depending on somebody's situation. You talk about situation. You mentioned Cure Insurance. Um, Cure is not the greatest auto insurance company in the world. They do have a niche where they do not rate on credit. So one of the things that keeps auto insurance rates high for some people in Michigan is when they rate on credit. And by rating on credit,
Yeah.
a lot of companies, if you've got a number below what their threshold is, they're gonna throw out some rate that is just comical. I mean, just ridiculous rates. Um, so if you're sitting here with a 700 credit score, Cure is not going to be a good option for you. But if credit has kept you from getting a good auto insurance rate, Cure may be the best option. Cure really rates on your driving record, which in theory is what the auto insurance companies should be rating on. If you're a bad driver, you should pay more. If you're a good driver, you should pay less. Cure takes a look at your driving record. And if you've got a good driving record but bad credit, Cure is probably going to be the best way. One of the biggest complaints I hear about Cure is I tried to get Cure insurance and I sat on hold for 3 hours and nobody answered my call. I hear horror stories about Cure's 800 number. Um, Cure does not work with a lot of independent agents. It's a new program they're rolling out. We've had them for about 2 months. And the nice thing about working with an independent agent is you get my direct line, you call me. If I'm not available, you can call our Bingham Farms office, which answers the phone 9 to 5. You don't have to deal with Cure's terrible customer no service. Um, you can go through an independent agent like me and get a Cure policy, and we're the ones that have to stay on hold and deal with Cure if we've got to get in touch with them.
that's good. So I know Regina is not really fond of Cure, but I heard you say that if you had, really bad credit, then maybe Cure is the best option. And so we hear we have viewers now, and as Regina gave some statistics earlier, how high the insurance rate in Michigan is, and so a lot of people are complaining about that. And so I see that Cure has now come with a lower option, but some people are like Regina, and in the back of my mind, is this the best option if something happens? So how do you, like, if you have clients coming to you and they're trying to get the best option, how do you direct them when they're concerned about accidents and things like that? Which would be the better insurance agent for them? You know.
Yeah, so with auto insurance, I think it comes down to price within reason.
Hmm.
If somebody is within a few percentage of each other, I'm going to guide my clients to the auto insurance company that is has the better customer experience, that is more likely to pay out on claims. Um, the bottom line is, on when it comes to auto insurance, is that um, the auto insurance companies are regulated by the state of Michigan.
Okay.
So, they have to follow the laws. And, with any insurance company, if your auto insurance company is written correctly, you didn't lie on your application, there's
Hmm.
not fraud going on. You're not saying I live in Grand Rapids, when you're clearly renting a house in Detroit, but you're trying to, throw them off on living in a zip code that has a better rate. As long as there's not fraud involved, if you wreck your car, your auto insurance has to pay out the fair market value of that car. So, and if they don't, then you get the state insurance commissioner involved. So, again, with a company like Cure, if somebody else is close on price, I may steer the client, say, hey, you may have you can have a better experience with, some other company. Um, but if the price is right with Cure, then that's the way I would steer them.
Okay, so we want to give away some things today. And one of the questions that we have going at the bottom of the screen, and all the viewers, if you're watching, at the bottom of the screen, we have a question. And it says, what is personal injury protection coverage? Brad has talked about that. So if you can tell us what that is, you'll be one of the winners for our giveaway today. We have two things that we're giving away today. We have three tickets for admission to the Henry Ford Museum, and you can go and experience this. You have up until June 25th to access these tickets up until next year. So if you are a winner, you get to go and see this. So if you can tell us what is personal injury protection coverage, these tickets belong to you.
And if you don't know, look it up.
Yeah, Wikipedia.
Look it up on your phone and Google it if you don't know.
Again, you have until June 25th, 2025 to use these tickets. It's three tickets and they're for you.
And the second question is, because I know we're getting close to time, the second question is, what is one of the insurance companies that Brad named on the show today
Yeah, he
that he
named
deals with?
several, y'all.
What's one? And the second prize is a $25 gift card from being the driver's seat. So we're encouraging you guys to comment at the bottom, or you can give us a call at 248-905-1128. 248-905-1128, or you can comment in the bottom. So let's get into the second, one of the second way of saving on auto insurance is, I want to jump to the third one, raising your deductible.
But wait, Regina, because he talked about the credit.
Yeah, he
Bad
did
credit.
approving your
Yeah.
credit. You're right. Okay.
Improving your credit. So how do we improve our credit so that we can have a better rate?
Um,
First, you go to Cure because you got Bruce
I
credit.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard different ways that you can manipulate your. I mean, pay your bills. I mean,
That's the
that's
number
kind of
one.
the basic one. But there's some other ways you can manipulate it. Getting a credit card and keeping a $0 balance on it, just making small transactions that you pay off right away, um, can improve your credit. Doing those things. I'm not like a qualified credit counselor or something like that. I think there was an ad before that somebody that's much more qualified than I am to improve your credit. But getting that number up, paying your bills on time and having a better credit score is going to help. One thing that should be noted, though, when you go through the auto insurance process, auto insurance agents are not running credit. We do not do a hard pull on your credit the way that you are when you're doing an auto insurance loan or a home loan. And I think that's an important thing too. Is when you're shopping for a car, is to do it within a pretty quick timeline, so that when you're getting your credit run, it's only counting as one inquiry as opposed to multiple. As long as you're doing it within a certain period of time, I believe, you're not the credit bureaus recognize that you're shopping for a car loan, that you're gonna run your credit a few times, and that just counts as one. But if you do it, you do it once, and then you wait 3 months, and then you do it again, and then you wait 4 more months, and you do it again, then that is going to lower your credit score. So don't do that. But as an auto insurance agent, we do what's called a soft pull, which is to take some information about you, but not do a full credit pull that is going to harm your credit.
We got a question for you, Brad.
Mhm.
It's from Allison. Allison says, my biggest problem is when I'm talking to an insurance company is when I give them my zip code 48341, being in the city of Pontiac. So once she gives, I'm assuming she's saying when she gives her zip code, it increases her policy.
So, I would say that basically the auto insurance companies are going to rate based on where you live. Pontiac doesn't rate as bad as Detroit, but there are areas of Metro Detroit that are going to rate better than Pontiac, because of the high concentration of people. You have more traffic in Pontiac, and the statistics show that most of your driving is within 5 miles of your house. So if you are driving in a congested area most of the time, then you are going to pay more for your auto insurance. But I mean, when you give it's going to rate based on where you live. So, and the only way to really avoid that is to move.
Which some of us can't do.
Right. So, you have to deal with it. The good news for Pontiac is that you're not paying, the 48340 and 2 is Pontiac, and it's not as bad it's not nearly as bad as Detroit. Detroit is the worst. I don't think there's any metro area in this country that pays more for auto insurance than Metro Detroit. And the closer you are to Detroit,
The more you're gonna pay.
so at least with Pontiac, you are a pretty good distance away from Detroit. And I would guess that most companies rate higher in, like, especially like Southfield, where you're much closer to Detroit. I would say that those areas probably rate higher
That's
than
true.
Pontiac,
That's true.
because it's
That's
closer
very
to
true.
downtown.
That's very true. So we do have a winner for our second question. Allison said Progressive Insurance. So thank you, Allison. So she did win the gift card of $25 by answering the question. Progressive Insurance. So we're still looking for the first question to be answered. What is
Personal protection insurance. And
yes?
Allison answered that.
So Allison is the winner of both.
Yeah, she's the winner of both. But Allison went on though. She listed Frankenmuth and she listed a few more. So Sierra said, yes, my insurance is much cheaper in Saginaw than it was in Pontiac. So good morning, Sierra. So Sierra is saying that I guess your zip code really does matter. She's agreeing because she
Yeah.
moved from Pontiac to Saginaw and her insurance is much cheaper.
Yeah, I've got some clients in Saginaw, Bay City. Yeah, the auto insurance is a lot cheaper. Outside of Metro Detroit, it's a completely different ball game up there.
Right. So, Brad, I know the time is dwindling down, but can you just hit on one of the things Regina was coming up with next was raise your deductible. I know that's number three on our list. Let's kind of talk about how raising our deductible can be beneficial for us.
Sure. So you can't raise it too high. Your loan, if you've got an auto loan, typically 1,000 is the highest you can go. But I would definitely recommend, unless you plan on getting into a lot of accidents, I would recommend $1,000 deductible. That means if you're in an auto accident, you're going to have to pay 1,000 to get the repairs done. But I would rather have the savings for you on a monthly basis, and then take those savings, put them into put them under the mattress, or put it in a savings account, so that if you have to spend the deductible, you've got the $1,000 available. But yeah, I would much rather you pay less per month and more for a claim than more per month and less for a claim. Um, so $1,000 is the way to go. I would say on both comprehensive and collision deductibles.
So it's one more thing I want to point out before we let Brad go is because this is important. I think a lot of people don't understand this is the bundling your home insurance or bundling because that also helps you save, and that's huge. And they don't understand that if you with two or three different insurance companies, whether it's your rental insurance, your car insurance, your homeowner's insurance, and you're all over the place. Now I'm just gonna say I'm all over the place for a reason with mine because because it was cheaper and you should shop your insurance every 6 months or to a year. So let me say this. I'm gonna let you answer the question, but I do want to make this comment before you say that. But it is important that you shop your insurance every 6 months or a year. So if you don't, one thing that I find people that buy cars from me is they are so they have that relationship with that insurance company and they just stay with them and they don't look to shop. So I want to encourage our listeners this morning is to car Brad, shop your insurance. Dr. T talked about shopping hers this morning. So shop your insurance. Stop being so dedicated to your insurance company, whether it's your homeowners, your car insurance. Stop being so dedicated. Shop and see if you can get a better rate.
That's good.
So let's go to that question. That last one I want bundling your insurance. How do you bundle your insurance, or does it make sense?
Sure. Most situations it does. Typically, you're looking at a 20% discount on your auto and on your home by bundling. So most situations it is. There could be a situation where, let's say, Progressive is super cheap on your auto insurance. You've got a great rate with them, but they happen to be really high on your home insurance. And then the bundling doesn't make sense. But I would definitely at least try to, if you're a homeowner, own a condo, um, to bundle that package with the same company. One thing that you can also do if you don't own a home or a condo, if you rent, getting renter's insurance. Um, Many times I've had situations where auto insurance and renter's insurance is cheaper than just auto insurance. Why, I don't know, but by bundling with renter's policy, you're getting like you may get a 20%, depends on the company, but it may be a 20% discount to bundle, and that may mean that you may be saving $30-$40 on your auto insurance, and your renter's policy is $15. So it's cheaper to do it as a package with renter's insurance, oftentimes, than just doing auto insurance by itself. And then you got, renter's insurance is nice because if you have a fire in your apartment,
Mm-hmm.
you get your hotel paid for,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
you get some spending money to go buy some new clothes and pots and pans and furniture.
Yeah. So I know Brad, Regina said that that would be the last question, but this number five, a lot of people don't understand this. And it says have at least 6 months consecutive coverage on auto insurance. Can you please hit on that? Because I know people that'll go in, they'll get insurance and they don't keep it. And let's kind of talk about that because when you allow insurances to lapse, that matters.
Absolutely. 6 months of consecutive coverage is the standard in the industry, and if you are, let's say, you're going to buy a new car, trying to get rates if you don't have auto insurance is really tough. There's only a few companies. So that's where like a company like Cure comes in because they don't rate against not having 6 months of consecutive coverage. But it eliminates some of those really good companies, like a Frankenmuth or a Hastings Mutual or a Wolverine. Some of those really good local companies, you've got to have 6 months of consecutive coverage. So, even if your car is about to blow out, keep that auto insurance that you have. You've got just liability coverage. Keep it. Then when you buy that new car, make sure that you've got that 6 months of consecutive coverage. For me, it's going to give me 15 options of companies to work with as opposed to 3, maybe 4 that'll take people that have lapses in insurance. So it's a big deal.
So a lot of people don't understand that when they actually come to buy a brand new car and they have a car that they're currently driving and they have no automobile insurance, that hurts you
Yeah.
because they're flagged now in the I don't know what you guys do, right? But aren't they flagged where if you have a current car and then now you're trying to get automobile insurance?
Yeah, there's a database that maintains
Database.
the insurance, what kind of insurance you have. So if you pull up as having no current auto insurance, then I'm really limited in what I can do. There's some companies I can do, but I'm limited, and you're going to pay more money.
Yeah.
So in other words, when you're riding dirty, you have a car right now and you driving your car and you know that maybe you're saying you can't afford your insurance, right? But you're going to get your hair done, you're going to do these other things, right? And you're not paying your car insurance. 2 or 3 months later or even a year later, you want to go get a car, you're going to pay more. So while you're riding dirty, know that eventually, because you're not preparing, that was our word of the day, preparation, you're not preparing for your getting that car 6 months, a year later, you're riding dirty, it's going to make you pay more. You're going to pay more for your insurance. And a lot of people don't realize that because I have a lot of customers that have cars that they don't have automobile insurance on it. They've been driving it, but now they want to get a car. And then they're complaining because they're paying double
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
more than what they could have been paying.
Yeah, and so Allison, your last comment, she said bundling didn't work for me. It raised my house payment through the roof. Never again. I understand. So I like when Regina said, make sure you're shopping around because me personally, I don't have everything bundled all in one thing.
Yep.
I have some things bundled, but you have to do what's best for you. So Brad, this was really good information that you shared. We need to,
I have
get
one more
some more.
thought. So let me just. I did say
I'm sorry,
earlier.
Brad.
I did. I'm sorry. I wanted to say it's because Allison said that, but Allison, I did say earlier that I used to bundle. I don't have the bundle anymore. It's
Yeah.
because when I shopped, it wasn't. It was better for me to move my automobile insurance years ago. Not starting in, well, I think it was 2014. I moved to different insurance company and I kept the same homeowners insurance.
Me too.
And it's because the price for my home and Brad gave me the quote and it's cheaper for me to stay where I am and cheaper for me to go somewhere else. So the bundle didn't work for me. It worked for years, but it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
So
That's what I was saying. Sometimes things work until they don't. And
That's
so
it.
that's where you,
That's it.
go around, shop around. But Brad, I was just saying this was really good information. I thank you for sharing it with us today, and you really helped us. Especially some of these points were necessary that we spoke on it today, and this is helping us prepare for 2025.
Well, great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Thank you, Brad. Oh, wait. Number. We didn't give out a number for you, and we need to make sure we put it in the comments. What's the number that they can reach you to either shop for your insurance or get new insurance with Brad Golder?
Sure. Direct number is 248-686-1584. It's a free call. We can shop it around, see if we can help you out. There's no cost to run a quote. And that number again is 248-686-1584.
Now, is that number pointed to your cell or is that the office?
That goes right to my cell.
Okay.
It's through it is the office number, but
No,
since I work out of Georgia most of the time, it does go right to my cell. So I can answer it just about any time.
No, I would just wanted to make sure because you're my concierge, so I just wanted to make sure you were getting the credit. So, but okay. All right. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
All right. Have
Happy
a good week.
Saturday. Also, Brad has a email address, bgolder@evertreeinsurance.com. So all the viewers, listeners, if you don't call him and you just want to email him, you can contact him at bgolder@evertreeinsurance.com.
Can you spell that for the people in the back and the people in
Yes,
the
so
front and the people in the middle?
BGOLDER at Evertree Insurance, which is EVERTREE Insurance is INSURANCE.com. So that was good information today. I hope you had your pencils and your paper out. Brad shared some things. Also, he talked about PIP insurance. You can go down to $250,000 for all those listening. You don't have to have the unlimited amount.
You do not.
Yeah.
So Brad is my own, like I said, concierge. I use him. He takes care of me, and we hope that you got a lot out of the show today. News you can use.
Yes.
And we'll be right back. Well, no, we'll be.
No, we see
no,
you next
we're-
week.
We'll see you
same
next week,
time.
same time.
Happy Saturday, everybody.
Happy Saturday.